Oh, hey everyone, how are things? It's Metal, and welcome back to the channel. So, I'm going to give you guys another update, so let's get right into it. I have a couple of movies, I have a couple Blu-rays, a couple games, and a couple music stuff, so let's get right into it. So the first game that I picked up is Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, Yakuza 0, and Yakuza Kiwami for the PlayStation 4. This is a remake of the first game that was on the PS2, so I'm glad to have that one. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, Day 1 Edition for PS4. Got this for really cheap at GameStop. Dying Light, The Following. This is the enhanced version. This is the more vastly superior version of that game, and it's like the more badass version of that game. So, yeah, moving on. Next one is Quantum Break, my only Xbox One pickup. Got this for really cheap at a used bookstore, so I would have had him grab that one. Bought it for so cheap. The Bourne Ultimate Collection on Blu-ray. Glad to finally pick this one up. Got this for pretty cheap, not too much money. I mainly got this because I have yet to see Jason Bourne. I didn't like the Bourne Legacy. That movie was fucking shit. Hated that movie so fucking much. But I love like the other ones. I love the first three. The original trilogy I think is the best though. But I'm glad to finally dive back into this franchise again. And The Lodge, which is a horror film that I have a lot of interest for, and I'm glad to finally picked it up. I believe it came out in 2020. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure when this released, but glad to have it in the collection. And this is Korn's new album, Requiem. Glad to have this. I'm a huge fan of Jonathan Davis. Love the band overall, and glad to have this new record by them. And a lot of solid tracks on here. Slipknot, The End So Far. This is supposedly Slipknot's final album by Road Runner Records. This is supposedly their final one. That's hasn't entirely been confirmed yet, well, as far as I know, but that's what I've heard anyway. Love Corey Taylor, love Slipknot as a band, and this is a fucking awesome album. Like, a lot of great tracks on here. It kicks off 2022 and just lays with a bang for sure. Absolutely with a bang. Moving on. And as you guys might know, I'm slowly collecting all the PlayStation 3 titles because I think this is by far Sony's best system. Like, in my humble opinion, this is Sony's best console that they've ever put out. And so I'm just slowly collecting the vast majority of the library for it. And so the first game that I picked up for it is Brutal Legend. This is a Jack Black death metal kind of action adventure kind of game. Really cool looking, and I did see some gameplay footage of it online. Really solid looking game, and I'm excited to dive into that one. And then I got a few sports games, NASCAR 08 and NASCAR 09. I know absolutely nothing about NASCAR, but since these are technically racing games as well, I'm a huge racing fan. And these are also technically sports games, which I'm not a fan of, but these games are actually pretty fun because I am a huge car fan and I'm a huge racing fan. So, yeah, that's why I got these. And I got NASCAR 09 for fairly cheap at a used bookstore, and then NASCAR 8 I actually bought off Amazon. Moving on. And then next up, last but not least, Assassin's Creed Rogue for the PlayStation 3 as well, limited edition. This recently just got a remaster on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and I believe it did get some enhancements on the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 as well. But I have here the PlayStation 3 version. I'm excited to dive into this, but I would rather play the PlayStation 4 version because that's the remastered version. This is actually a 7th gen title that just happens to get a remastered version like a year or two later or something like that. But yeah, glad to have that in the collection. I'm slowly collecting all the Assassin's Creed titles on the PS3, and I'm doing a pretty good job so far. So far I have Assassin's Creed 3 and then this, and I still need the other ones. At some point I will track them all down. But yeah, the vast majority of these games I did get at GameStop, which is a company that everyone loves to fucking shit on all the time. But I don't really have a problem with GameStop all that much, even though I'm not the biggest fan of GameStop. A lot of times, it is a little annoying going in there. Uh, like certain employees are asking for pre-orders and all that kind of thing, and that gets kind of annoying at times. But GameStop is a you know fairly decent option for tracking down a lot of physical games and for pretty cheap prices. Like overall, it's not too bad. It's not as bad as you would think. Uh, it is a really neat option for like getting older games and like last gen titles mostly, especially like PS4 and Xbox One stuff. You won't be able to find Wii U stuff though, unfortunately, anymore because the Switch took over. But I got most of these at GameStop. Aside from Quantum Break, I did get at a used bookstore, so I went ahead to grab that one because it was so fucking cheap. And as for the the Bourne Ultimate Collection was like $25 for like all 5 films, so that was a solid deal off of Amazon. I was a Prime member on there. Yeah, I'm excited to dive into that franchise, but I will refuse to fucking watch the Bourne Legacy because that movie was fucking horrible. It was shit. I did not like that movie at all. It was fucking terrible. But anyway, that's about it, guys. So I never leave you guys hanging in the comment section. I will be sure to read all of your comments. Until next time, everybody, take it easy, guys, and take care, everyone.